He couldn't help himself. Thank you, Steve, Dr. Swisher. We appreciate all that you're doing for Christians United for Israel in Dallas as well. It's been an honor to have you here with us tonight. Our next speaker is somebody that we didn't think was going to be here. But as the Lord arranged it, he was able to be with us tonight. Ronnie Levy is a very, very special friend. He's a special friend to this ministry. He's a special friend to Terry and myself. His father, Yehuda Levy, was former president and publisher of the Jerusalem Post. Ronnie has continued a family calling of building a bridge of love and understanding between Christians and Jews. He's the CEO of Covenant Tours of Israel. He's led tours of Israel for more than a decade. He's the founder and the chairman of Israel Ad, a nonprofit organization that reaches out to those in need in Israel. He's a man of passion. He's a man of valor. And he's able to carry that passion to the highest levels of government. He was appointed by Prime Minister Ariel Sharon to serve as his advisor on world Jewish and world Christian affairs. He's also the Israeli director for Prayer Mountain in the Galilee. And as I said before, he is such a dear friend to Terry and myself, to Kenneth and Gloria, to this ministry, to this church. Would you please welcome Ronnie Levy?
Shalom, everyone. Shalom. I think I know more people here than in my synagogue back at home. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much, Pastor Terry and Pastor George. We don't have the time, and maybe we don't even want on a night like this, to elaborate on fancy strategic evaluations of Israel. I can just give you, I arrived in this country just a few days ago, and I can just put it in a nutshell and give you the entire story of what's happening right now in the Middle East. Bottom line. The good news is that it's been like this for about 5,000 years. And we are confident that good things will happen in the future despite of all. I want to share with you a little childhood memory that I have, which came to my awareness only a few days ago. When I was 9 years old, we were celebrating Israel's 25th anniversary. And I remember it was 1973, and I was standing outside on the little street in my village, and my mother and a few of her neighbor friends were standing out there as two Israeli jet fighters came and flew over our village, and they painted in the sky the number 25. And I heard my mother and her friends say to each other, "Who knows if we will survive to see the year 26. And, I was a little child, and I remember that I cried that night, and I was thinking thoughts like, why does everybody hate us? And how will it be when the Arabs throw us away, and things like that. And this memory came to me a few days ago, as I was celebrating with my family and with my friends in the same community, Israel's 60th anniversary. And I think that it would be accurate to say that on every front imaginable, Israel is drastically stronger than ever before. You should know this. It's important for us to talk about our enemies and all that, but it's not nearly as the importance of recognizing the fact that we are getting stronger all the time. Every decade is better and better for Israel, despite of all the hardships. We have a better economy, We have more people in the country. We have a more advanced and innovative society. I'm sure everybody here is aware of the innovation and the brain power of Israel, the agriculture, the high-tech, the biotech. Who would imagine that a country so small, 50 miles wide, imagine, it's hard to imagine this when you live in Texas. But believe me, you know, I think the time that took me to get to this ministry today, if I drive that long in Israel, I'm in another country. But despite of that, we're number 2 in the world in many, many things. And the things that get better all the time, one of them, and there are many areas to talk about, but in the little time we have, I want to touch on the meaning of this evening, is how Christians and Jews are able to communicate, to work together without hidden agendas, working together to reach a moral foundation for what is right. And that is another area that I believe, and I always believed, and I must say, acknowledge my father, the late Colonel Yehuda Levi, who was publisher and president of the Jerusalem Post for many years, who started cultivating friendships and relationships with Christian organizations back in the mid-70s with Dr. David Lewis, Pastor Hagee. I'm sure you know him. You knew him well. They're both no longer with us, but the concept is got bigger than ever. And I'm not an official representative of the State of Israel today, Pastor Hagee, but often when I'm in these visits, I feel so blessed that I get to see how powerful the support and the love for Israel is becoming in this country. And a lot of that is thanks to you, your leadership, and your friends, the Pearsons and Pastor and Mrs. Copeland. And I can try and offer you the deep appreciation of the people in Israel who are beginning to be aware of that also. And you should know that Israel's enemies are totally irrelevant to Israel's future. Israel's future will be depending always on our unconditional faith in the Lord delivering the promise of a people who will live and prosper in their God-given land. Of course, recognition by our leaders that it is our God-given land will make life much more manageable and easier. So I think that my 3 minutes are up. I want to thank you very much, and I just want to leave you with one last thought. It relates also to my childhood. When we were little kids in Israel, we used to joke or fantasize about the possibility of Israel hitting a huge oil well one day, so we can have oil also, and we can be liberated from economic dependency. And today, as an adult, I want to tell you that I hope that this will never happen. I think it's fascinating that so many countries around the world are blessed with endless resources. Oil in abundance is just coming out of the ground all over the Middle East, but in those 50 by 200 miles called Israel, nothing, not a drop. Aluminum, coal, diamonds, gold, nickel, everything is in abundance almost in every country in the world. What do we have? Sunshine and sand. And I must tell you that today, as an adult, I realized that this is a great blessing. Because if we would have had all these fortunes, the world would have suspected that these Jews, maybe they love their country so much because of all the resources that are there. Thank God that there is nothing there but our love for the Bible and for who we are. Thank you.